Thank you, Nimal. Thank you for the invite. I'll share a few thoughts on this area, and I'm honored to actually be talking after Ravi, my mentor and a person whom I admire very much. What does a new age traveler want? He's someone who wants to select their own unique experience. Um, it's someone who would check different kinds of sources before he travels. Normally, it's around 10. They plan their own itinerary. They like to do their own thing. Uh, they do their own booking, and they work while they travel. So that's the kind of person that we are looking at. And basically, you have to customize your whole product and service to meet this requirement. Uh, the question is, are we doing it? Now, we get about almost 2 million people coming into this country, but then even after everybody saying it's a key industry, the fact is today the industry is in the red. Uh, the room stock is increasing, the costs have increased, so the margins are so thin, we don't sometimes have money even to do refurbishment. Uh, 2, 3 hotels right now in the city are on sale. There are about 1,500 boutique hotels, which are all on sale in the Eastern Province. So that's the reality. So which means that there is some problem. Now, what do we do and what do we tell the world? We talked about these 8 wonderful experiences in 8 wonderful ways. We talk about, I remember going all over the world talking about this. Uh, but then look at what the research say. Initially, this was done by Insignia Research, and what they say is that initially when you go and tell somebody, would you like to come to Sri Lanka? Only 2% of the target audience come. But then after you go and explain that you got the best beach in the world, which is ranked number 1 by National Geographic, when you go and tell that you have the 8th wonder of the world, when you talk about saying you have ethically manufactured tea, you have the highest density of leopard in any square kilometer of area, which happens to be Nyala. I remember Carlos Pue once coming to Sri Lanka, and there was Chandra who called me and said, can you, Rohanta, get him to talk about Sri Lanka? So I hunted him, and I found him at Amangala. And then I told him, Carlos, would you mind doing something? He said, I can't do anything because I'm with my girlfriend and not my wife. So then I said, fine, but you can talk something about Sri Lanka. He said, okay, I will put something tomorrow. And he said how in the morning at 6, he had gone and seen the whale. And by 2 o'clock, he was in Udavalai looking at elephants. And he just said, in one single day, I saw the 2 largest animals in the world. And that day, there was 1 million likes. So that's what Sri Lanka holds in terms of a product. We have the highest density of elephants in one park, which happens to be Min area. And we have the best Ayurveda, better than Kerala. We have the oldest pageant in the world, 75 years plus. And of course, whenever you do research, the first thing that comes out is the smiling faces. And that's the only thing that people remember. But then the question is, when you go back, and ask people, hey guys, would you come to Sri Lanka now? Everybody says, wow. So this is the problem we have in our country. So in terms of attracting this new age traveler, we have to first go and tell the world, about our country. It just proves the issue at hand. Now, if I, so now it just shows that we are not market driven. That's the point I'm trying to make. But then on the other hand, do we have the skill set? If you take apparel, I mean, here's an industry which was just 2 billion at one time, and today it is almost touching 5.5 billion. We were called tailors in 1974. We became sourcing experts. We became supply chain specialists. We moved to social accountability with Ravi was on that team. And today, we are the first ethical sourcing destination. So here's an industry that really showed the world to change. And we took the lead, and we set the stage, and we took the high ground, and around the world, we are attracting customers to come into our brand. You take tea industry. From a 0.6 billion, it has become almost a 2 billion brand. And, state run in 1970s, auction system introduced in 78. We got the buyers to come from London to Sri Lanka to come and buy our teas. 99% of our teas now go through the auction system, which is the only auction system in the world that does it. Privatized in 1990, moved to new age management, and then we moved to diversification, brought in a whole range of new products under a typical tea estate, and today we are the first ethical tea producer. So here's another industry which has done it. But the question is, Sri Lanka's tourism has failed. So we are not even looking at the new age traveler, we are not even trying to understand what the world wants. So there is some problem which is industry-led. Now, the last new product that we've had in the tourism industry was in 1972, and it happens to be in Pinnavala. On the other hand, if you take Dubai, this is what it was in 1990, and this is what it is today. So it attracts the new age traveler. It has developed new products. They have understood what the consumer wants, and that's all it says. And I'd just like to leave you with what my professor said at Harvard, who is actually working in Prime Minister's office as we speak, Ricardo Hausmann. The last new product that was launched in the last 15 years are just 7 new products that has brought in just 0.1 billion. And if you look at China, 76 billion new products has brought in 331 billion. So it just tells us that this industry has to innovate. Thank you very much.